I'm smiling on the outside, but I'm crying on the inside because this is the last day of our ocean study and science. So we're doing the last 4 pages, 155 through 158. Of course, you can learn more about the ocean. I wanted you to see my whale on your own. And you can draw ocean scene, some of the fish and things that we have. Learn to draw your shark, your fish, your seahorse. And then we'll see if I can find any more drawings we can do. But if you're on page 155, you notice that is a Tech Connect, tech standing for technology, and how that has changed our exploration of the ocean. It says special equipment called scuba gear, you're familiar with that, helps divers explore reefs and the open ocean. A scuba diver can breathe underwater with an air tank. Swim fins do what? That helps a diver swim down underwater. A wetsuit helps keep a scuba diver warm in cold water. A mask protects the eyes and helps a scuba diver see more clearly. It fits tightly around a diver's eye and nose. Raise your hand if you've ever gone snorkeling. Anybody gone scuba diving? I've gone snorkeling. I don't really want to go scuba diving. A scuba diver can use a flashlight that works underwater, which is cool. And number 1 says, why is deep ocean water cold and dark? Well, what makes you warm and what gives us light? By nature, the sun. Right? So the opposite, why would the deep ocean, the deeper down you go, be so cold and dark? Because sunlight cannot go deep into the ocean. So that would be something that you would write there for that number 1. Sunlight, that is a compound word, light that comes from the sun, can't, we'll make the contraction for cannot, go deep. And I hope you're still doing your best handwriting into the ocean. Just be proud of your great skills. Sunlight cannot go deep into the ocean. That's a good reason. Okay, you can pause and finish writing. Number 2 says, which oceans might be too cold for scuba divers to explore? Well, what are the coldest oceans? Of course, it would be the Arctic and then the southern oceans down by Antarctica. So you would say the Arctic and southern. We're capitalizing those because they're proper nouns. The Arctic, make sure, I always think I've spelled that wrong, but it's right. And southern oceans may be too cold. You have to have some really special gear. Maybe what we see on the next page would be more appropriate. On the next page, it says sometimes oceanographers want to go into ocean water that is too deep, maybe too cold, for scuba equipment. Then they must use other equipment. This equipment includes small submarines called submersible vehicles. You know, a vehicle is like a mode of transportation. Submersible, if you submerge something in water, you put it into it, so it submerses. The first one, it says this submersible vehicle is the Alvin. It can go very deep in the ocean. A pilot and 2 oceanographers can ride in the Alvin. What is an oceanographer? It's a scientist who studies the ocean, right? And then it says an ROV, is also used underwater. It can travel to the deepest parts of the ocean. That would be pretty fascinating. The only thing is people cannot go in these places, but the ROV can go there, and it takes pictures for oceanographers to study. It would be too risky for people to go that deep. All right, and then the next page is our Chapter 9 review. Make sure you've got this if you have to pause. Because I am going to erase it, as you can see. And our Chapter 9 review would lead to a science test, but I am going to give everybody the best grade ever, assuming that you have studied and that you know the information. So let's take this as if it were a test. It says to use the numbers to label the landforms. You've got island, trench, undersea mountain, continental shelf. So that first little piece that's dropping down right there on the shore, what would that be? Is that an island? Is that a trench? Is that an undersea mountain, or is that a continental shelf? Hopefully everybody said it's a continental shelf, because right here is a continent, right? Could be the continent of North America, okay? That could be on the west coast or the east coast. You have the shelf that leads down into the ocean. Then you drop way down. You have a number. You don't know what number, right? What is that? Would that be an island, a trench, or an undersea mountain? Remember, it goes down. Trench. You are so right. That is a trench. I do not like this pen anymore. Okay? And then it goes up, and then you have that. Let's finish the ocean off, okay? What would that be? You're right, it's an undersea mountain because it's still under the sea. And then you go whoop, right? Palm trees, coconuts, la 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 la, you can call it an island. You are so right. That is an island, and we have many of those. Okay, we're gonna fill in the bubbles. What is the name of the largest ocean? Is it the Indian, Pacific, or Atlantic? Did you say Pacific? Good, you are right. That's our ocean. It wraps around the world, doesn't it? Number 2, what gives energy of motion to waves? Is it animals that jump in the water? Is it trenches that give energy of motion? Or is it wind? Remember when we blew on the water? It sends energy of motion to waves. So it would be wind. Number 3, what ocean habitat is formed by coral polyps? And you should have watched those videos yesterday. What do you say? Coral reef, submersible, or house? Coral reef. And you've got coral polyps. That's a big clue. Number 4, what is the word for the daily rise and fall of the level of the ocean? Is that a wave? Is that a tide? Or is that a current? I gave you clues. It would be the tide. Fill in tide. Okay, next page. Fill in the circle beside the word that best answers the question. Do coral reefs float on top of the ocean? They're just out there floating along? No, they're attached to the bottom, right? In shallow water. Does a submersible vehicle always carry people? No, it doesn't. Remember the ROV? It goes so deep, people can't go in it, but it can take photographs. Number 3, do ocean currents carry warm water and nutrients? Yes, they do, don't they, to other parts of the ocean. Number 4, do oceans cover more of the Earth's surface than land? Is there more land? More ocean. More ocean, right? I think it's like 80-something%. So yes. And now, this is your job. It says, write about taking a trip under the sea. How would you get there? What would you see? Would you go in a submersible vehicle? Would you create your own vehicle? Or would you just snorkel a little bit, or would you scuba dive? So write about taking a trip under the sea, and write about what you would see. Okay, how you got there and what you would see. That's an opportunity to please send that to me. Okay, some of your parents are doing such a wonderful job in sending me pictures of your work, And it's so fun for me to see, okay? And now we say aloha to the ocean, and the next study I think is energy, but at least we live on the West Coast and the ocean will always be with us, right? So finish up, do a great job, and I will see you tomorrow, okay? Talk to you later, bye-bye.